And it was, when he had made an end of speaking to Shaul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Shaul took him that day, and would let him go no more home to his father's house. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant, because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him, and gave it to David, and his apparel, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his belt. And David went out whithersoever Shaul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Shaul set him over the men of war, and it was good in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Shaul's servants. And it was, as they came, when David returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing, to meet King Shaul, with timbrels, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women sang one to another as they played, and said, Shaul hath slain his thousands, and David his myriads. And Shaul was very wroth, and this saying displeased him. And he said, They have ascribed to David myriads, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom? And Shaul eyed David from that day and forward. And it was on the morrow that an evil spirit from God came mightily upon Shaul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand, as he did day by day. And Shaul had his spear in his hand, and Shaul cast the spear, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall. And David avoided out of his presence twice. And Shaul was afraid of David, because Yahweh was with him, and was departed from Shaul. Therefore Shaul removed him from him, and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people. And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and Yahweh was with him. And when Shaul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he stood in awe of him. But all Israel and Yehudah loved David, for he went out and came in before them. And Shaul said to David, Behold, my older daughter Merab, her will I give thee for a woman. Only be thou valiant for me, and fight Yahweh's battles. For Shaul said, Let not my hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistine be upon him. And David said to Shaul, Who am I, and what is my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? But it was at the time when Merab, Shaul's daughter, should have been given to David, that she was given to Adriel the Meholati for a woman. And Michal, Shaul's daughter, loved David, and they told Shaul, and the thing pleased him. And Shaul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him, and that the hand of the Philistine may be against him. For what reason Shaul said to David, Thou shalt this day be my son-in-law a second time. And Shaul commanded his servants, saying, Commune with David secretly, and say, Behold, the king hath delight in thee, and all his servants love thee. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law. And Shaul's servants spoke those words in the ears of David. And David said, Seemeth it to you a light thing to be the king's son-in-law, seeing that I am a poor man, and lightly esteemed? And the servants of Shaul told him, saying, On this manner spoke David. And Shaul said, Thus shall ye say to David, The king desireth not any bride price, but 100 foreskins of the Philistine, to be avenged of the king's enemies. Now Shaul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistine. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law. And the days were not expired, and David arose and went, he and his men, and slew of the Philistine 200 men. And David brought their foreskins, and they gave them in full number to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law. And Shaul gave him Michal his daughter for a woman. And Shaul saw and knew that Yahweh was with David, and Michal, Shaul's daughter, loved him. And Shaul was yet the more afraid of David, and Shaul was David's enemy continually. Then the princes of the Philistine went forth, and it was as often as they went forth that David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of Shaul, so that his name was much esteemed.